this is not even the audience I wanted to be in front of. What am I doing? I was backstage. Something happened. I had a dependency. It was intense. This camerawoman was there, and I remember there was a fan in the crowd. I was watching the crowd, and there was this one guy, and he was looking at me, and he was like, it was just like he was just saying, dickhead, like, you look like an idiot. And I was like, I believe you. And my tour manager came backstage, and he was like, you know, you almost killed someone today. And I was like, I think, okay, so like with Simon Cowell, and when I signed to Simon Cowell because my manager at the time was like, it's a bigger check. You're in a label that isn't gonna know, is gonna prioritize you because you're not like anything on their label. I was like, yeah, great idea. But I didn't think about it for myself. I allowed someone else to tell me what my next direction is, because I don't think I had the strength at the time to even think about what I wanted for myself, if you get me. Same way I owned a restaurant. That was my manager that was like, you should own a restaurant. I was like, yeah, let's own a restaurant. And then I was like, I don't know shit about a restaurant. I've never cared about a restaurant. and I only realized that later, but it kind of felt like you're supposed to look like a mogul, and you're supposed to look important, and you're supposed to gather all these things that start to create
what I'm hearing from
keeping
that,
up appearances. That's what it is.
yeah, what I was hearing from that is like, because you didn't, I was going to say because you didn't know what you wanted, someone else told you what you wanted, but it's more like part of it sounded like you didn't have the conviction to stand up for what you wanted.
No,
you didn't,
that's what it is. I didn't ask myself what I wanted. I never did, because I was always accommodating what everyone else wanted. And I still do it now sometimes, but I've learned to be aware of it.
Was that because of, is that in part because of like, when we're coming up, we're a little bit desperate just to get on, that we don't have the power yet to say like, I want to do it my way, because we're still trying, we still need the check, or because we still...
I think one thing I love about the ADHD is I don't think about money the same way most people do. So like a lot of my peers in the music industry, they're building a business because they can. Like they're going, okay, this year we're going to do this, and that's going to come with that. And they have this whole internal plan. And I'm like, my plan is like, if I can take a sound out of heaven and put it on a fucking computer, that is mad to me. Like that is like, that literally lights up my whole soul. And I feel so excited. I literally, sometimes when I'm making music, I cry, because I'm like, it hit me that hard, if you get what I mean. And so like that for me is like, it literally like, I would live for that. That's enough for me. But then around that, like taking stardust from the clouds or from wherever you want, from the universe, this business comes around it, and it says, we can turn this into money, but you have to do this with it. And then you've got to funnel it, and you can only do this in order to get that. And you're like, oh shit, okay, cool. Be a star. What does a star look like? Oh, be in a car with flipping tinted windows, have an entourage, and going like you're the shit. Okay, cool. But I don't really know how to do that. I'm kind of really a geek, like, because that's what I was when I was 16. And then before you know it, you're like, none of this shit means anything to me. And I felt like I was that's the time, I think, when you're talking about this place where I don't believe I belong. I was in the music industry, and like I was around, I remember like in Psycho, they went, who are you going out with? Like when I was first signed, it was like, who are you gonna go out with? And I was like, what do you mean? It was like, oh, maybe Cher Lloyd. And I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? And then, oh, we're gonna send you to this party. JLS are there. You just gotta, like, there's gonna be photographers outside the building. Be ready to be like thing, because we're trying to put you around this facade. So I was like, oh shit, this is how it works then, I guess. And so being around that was instantly like, I thought studying music theory and studying modes and scales was your like, what made you worthy of being in this industry, if you get what I mean. But it became like, no, entertainment isn't craft. Entertainment is entertainment, and people will be entertained by anything. So
play the game.
Yeah, and so it was like, find your way, like just try and lie as long as you can.
When did you feel? When did you feel the symptoms of that? So I've sat here with a lot of people who did a very similar thing, and they say, I spent a decade like wearing the mask and like wearing the outfit, and then at some point, you know, I remember Fern Cotton saying like she's driving to work and she just starts having panic attacks on the motorway. She thinks, fuck this, I'm going to my happy place, and she launches this brand called Happy Place where she gets to control her own destiny and be herself. She doesn't have to do the like, oh yeah, I'm fine. You know, she can be the full expression of her.
That's a hard one, bro.
Yeah.
And it's funny, we all meet each other. Yeah. And we're all the same boy or girl waiting to get the pat on the back. Good boy, good girl. And then I feel like we meet each other and we're all pretending that we've got it together. Mm-hmm. So I could have seen Fern and she's like, I'm dying inside right now, but she has to be Fern. I got it together. I'm like, shit, she's got it so well together, man. It's like, man, I'm lying. Like they can see it. Like I'm a fake. And everyone's doing that, but it's weird. Like, and then it turns you into this person that's like getting kicks out of lying better than the other. Like, so you go to an award ceremony and it's like, we sold 50 million or I don't know, 5 million records this week. How many did you sell? And it's like, I'm valuable.
You start playing the
people
game,
believe in my lie and now I believe in it. And it's like it starts to create this thing in you where if it becomes successful, like we were saying, it's like if it works and it pays off, then you're like, oh, I need to be this guy now. I've got to believe in this guy. And so, it's so funny that when you're saying with Fern, I'm like, I would have never known that stuff was going on because I feel like she had it well together. And I was having panic attacks.
What were the symptoms then for you? When did you realize that something had to change?
I was smashing guitars on stage and I know rock stars do that. I was a church boy, so that was big for me. And one show I was performing and I was like, I hate this, but I was saying I hate this, but I wasn't saying it in my mind. I was like, I could feel it. I was like, why I'm in this front of this crowd. This is not even the audience I wanted to be in front of. What am I doing? They're loving it, but I'm still just like, what is this? And my band, when I was talking about accommodating, my band's eating my rider before I get into my room because I was accommodating everyone to the point where it was like me, please, like, I'll do whatever I can to make sure you're comfortable in my space, even if it means giving you all my space. So my band was eating up my rider. Some of the people on my team were taking my like stuff from my, like they would, you know, like brands, when brands give you stuff, they would take it and give it to their families. Nothing was given to my family.
Is that day on stage, was that the turning point for you? Was that the day?
Yeah, I threw a guitar in the air. I almost hit a camera woman.
Why did you throw it?
I was pissed. I was backstage. Something happened. My manager was being weird. Our relationship was breaking down. And I had a dependency. It was intense. I had no confidence. I was at a place where I couldn't actually talk to people because I had social anxiety. And so he was super confident and outgoing and kind of like was like someone to lean on. And that kind of went up to my early days in my career. And so our relationship started to break down and it felt like if I didn't have him saying my music's good, it wasn't. And I kind of looked to him for that, like
a father figure.
Yes, exactly that. Like I kind of saw him as a father figure, and we had a really close relationship. And then it just started to break down when money started coming in, and I felt that happening, but I didn't know what was going on internally. I was just like, something's weird. This is just messed up. And then I went on stage, threw this guitar in the air. This camerawoman was there, and I remember there was a fan in the crowd because I'm a people pleaser, but also it pisses me off. I was watching the crowd and there was this one guy and he was looking at me and he was like, it was just like he was just saying, dickhead, like you look like an idiot. And I was like, I believe you. And then I just threw this guitar in there and it almost hit this woman and I didn't see it. And my tour manager came backstage and he was like, you know, you almost killed someone today. And I was like,
wait a minute. So you threw this guitar because some guy in the crowd was giving you a funny look?
Him, and the thing that all this stuff was going on.
Backstage.
And then I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, what?
Right, you just didn't want to be there.
And then I threw this guitar in the air because I was just like, fuck this place. And then it literally just was like, and just nearly just skimmed her. And when he said that, I was like, whoa, I was like, something's going on. I need to deal with it.
If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor. Become part of the 15% of the viewers on this channel that have hit the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, and the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests.